So right now I'm walking through a forest, all on my own, and I was thinking about data privacy really, just like being online and being offline and the differences, and how when I'm out and about, for example now, in the middle of nowhere, but I'm still feeding into that chain, you know what I mean? That chain of data, that chain of information through things like my app on my phone called Life 360, which I show my mum so she can view my location at all times for safety reasons. Who else is benefiting from that connection I have with my mum that tells her where I am? It's worrying. Makes me think. It's like that thing where they say you can never go fully off grid because everything you do is contributing to being online, and that's really true. I think every time you use an ATM, every time you phone someone, every time you text someone, it's all about surveillance. And whilst I just stand by the ethos that if you've got nothing to hide, and it doesn't matter if the government and stuff surveil you, but the thing that I don't like, which has been rising in the last maybe 10 years, maybe longer to be honest, is like monetization of that surveillance capitalism. How can people make money off knowing my location? For example, when I'm in Lidl and I have my phone to get the Lidl Plus app out, it's immediately just right in front of me in the suggested app, so it clearly knows where I am. It knows I'm in Lidl, and it says, oh, you want to use Lidl app now. Same with Tesco's, and same with Pure Gym. When I go to Pure Gym, I need to use the code on the app to get into the gym. As soon as I stand outside the gym and I open my phone, Pure Gym's there. And it's scary because whilst I've accepted that they can know my location, you do it without even really thinking. And I think the majority of people don't even realise that 99.9% of the time their very movements are being tracked and bought and sold and God knows what else. And it's that sort of monetization which offends me, because it's not about safety and security like it used to be. It's not about having CCTV so we can fight crime, or ATMs like telling you what money's being sent out by what account and stuff like that, or text messages being pinged, and it's not to fight crime and bring justice anymore. It's just these new methods with phones and locations and stuff. It's just all about money, and that's a real shame. Some people love knowing that they're off the grid, and purely just because it brings them peace of mind. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing something illicit. They just, personally, that's how the way they want to live. I don't really mind. I don't care that people know where I am. For example, I have my mum on that Life 360 app for security reasons, just in case, either me, my sister, or my mum stop responding or whatever, and we need to know where they are. And it gives me a bit of peace of mind to know that when my mum goes out, if I need to get to her, or I can't hear from her for ages, I can see where she last was. But when it goes beyond safety, that's when it starts to worry me. So I'm hopeful that now that I've turned off my location services on pretty much everything on my phone, maybe they won't monetize me as much, but it's still scary to think that they know where I am. They, the big they. Who is they? That's another question. You've got people buying and selling your data all the time, but there's no face to the name. It's almost like I've been told that these people are doing it, but I've not got any proof myself that my data's being sold necessarily. I know that people are using my data. For example, all the apps I mentioned, pinging me when I'm outside of their places, but that's not that like malignant really for them to. It's useful in fact, because that is the app I want. It's weird how you know that, and it's kind of creepy, but I'm not going to question it because it's helpful to me. But what if it wasn't helpful to me? What if theoretically, Amazon could see that I've entered a funeral home and then start suggesting me like funeral attire or stuff like that. And it's like that sort of stuff that's creepy, and it bridges the gap between surveillance and monetization. And that's what I'm worried about. Surveillance capitalism, that's spoken about by Shoshana Zuboff. I think that's how you say it. I might have butchered that, I'm very sorry. In her book, where she spoke about surveillance capitalism and how it's just all about behavioural data. Behavioural data is just where we are, what we're doing, and who we are. So that's the thing I worry about. Them knowing more about myself than I do. Is that how it is? Is that how it's supposed to be? I don't think so.